Look, if we'd have won an election last fall, we wouldn't be in this mess. So I'm here to listen too, because I'm not assuming that it's all Democrats in here, because I was out on a farm last week and it sure the hell wasn't all Democrats. But it was people that were really irritated about the tariffs and the trade war with our neighbors. And there's a responsibility in this time of chaos where elected officials need to hear what people are irritated about. And I would argue that Democratic officials should hear the primal scream that's coming from America is, do something, damn it. This is wrong. This is wrong. And independence. And there's nothing conservative about an unelected South African Nepo baby firing people at the VA. And for our Republican neighbors now, all of a sudden they're like, I wanted my 401k to go down. I wanted this, This idea that you would be okay. Can you imagine if President Barack Obama had brought his unelected African friend to cut? You know what I mean? How they think to cut the government. This is wrong. And your member of Congress is there to be your voice, is there to push back. So we're not here, and I'm not here to criticize and to personally attack Representative Nunn. I congratulate him on his service, unlike the other side who finds a need to criticize everybody and attack and do all that. That's not what we're here for, but you were hired to do a job. And that's the questions that we want to ask. You need to answer the questions about the things you did. Why is it okay for President Musk to do what he's doing? Why is that okay? Why are we fighting a trade war with Canada that Donald Trump negotiated the deals on and now doesn't want it? Why is that? And why do billionaires get to tell us you're going to have to endure a little bit of pain? Well, we wouldn't if you'd pay your taxes. We wouldn't have to. We wouldn't have to. And so I would say to you, Rita and I are going to take questions and hear from you, and I don't think it's going to be that different than I'm hearing from my constituents about trade wars, about Medicare and all that. But this is what your representative needs to be here for. Because if they were proud of what they did, it's very hard to find an elected official who doesn't want to be in front of a crowd or a camera. When they don't want to be, you know something's up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, boy. Tim has a point there. I mean, that was a little bit of a long intro for what we normally show here. But I didn't want to cut it short. I wanted Tim's whole comment to get out there because it is so relevant regarding what's going on in current times and what would have been said in the past, which is not being said now. The Republicans talk out of both sides of their mouth anytime they want just to justify the Donald. Number 47 has them on a puppet string, and unfortunately, Putin has Donald on a puppet string. So we're becoming, shall we say, the town hall of Putin. If Tim was right, and he wants to carry the town halls to the people, which is something I suggested over a week ago, then let it be seen. Let the Democrats and the Republicans sit in the same room and talk. There is more in common between us than what divides us. And what divides us right now is the Donald, number 47. His policies are for the oligarchs. His policies and concerns are only for his pocket. And he has one course and one purpose in mind. The Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 is very real, and you're now starting to see it. Now, one of the internal paragraphs on that, about halfway through it, mentions that Donald will need more than just one term to take total control. He'll need 2, possibly 3 consecutive terms. Well, geez, isn't it funny that one of his lackeys just introduced into legislature a bill that, if they get passed, would give Donald a 3rd term, because in the bill, the way it's written, tries to misconstrue the U.S. Constitution. The Constitution says no one can serve more than 2 terms. He's trying to say that, no, it's 2 consecutive terms. Donald had a break in between his first term and his second term, so he needs a 3rd term to be effective. No, not you, not now, not today. The voters are speaking out, and it's not just the Democrats. I know you Republicans like to say that the Dems are all up in arms and mad and angry at you, and we are. So Let's go back to your town halls. Tim Walz wanted to do the town hall. Tim Walz went and did the town hall. He sat and talked with Republicans and Democrats, and it appeared that he got a pretty good welcome. Now, according to the Republican representative Richard Hudson, he stated about 2 weeks ago that the Republicans should stop holding town halls if it's going to turn into a fiasco. Well, it's turned into a fiasco, but I guess the question is what are you afraid of? If you've done something wrong, you don't usually go back to the scene of the crime. If you've lied to someone, you don't usually go back and try and talk to them. If you've deceived them in any way, you want to avoid them. And it does appear that that's what you're doing right now, Richard. You're telling your people not to do it. How about Luna Polina? I believe that's the way her name is pronounced. All I can see is that dark hair and her face. She's the missing representative out of Florida who hasn't been back to visit her constituents in a while. Yeah, it's the same old refrain everywhere you go. The Democrats are playing with our town halls. No, there was a picture of a vet there with a cast on his arm who stood up to vent his anger and immediately was thrown out because they couldn't handle him.
Chuck Edwards getting an earful tonight by way of yelling boos and rebukes at his event in Asheville, North Carolina. Much of the crowd protested Elon Musk and his pink slips.
Why are people losing their jobs at record numbers?
You're lying. I'm a veteran. You don't give a about me. You don't give a you don't take away our rights. You don't take our rights. Get off of me. You don't get to do it.
That man never moved out from the front of his seat. He stood up to voice his opinion and got thrown out for standing up. There's a clip in today's financial reports on CNBC. I make it no bones to tell you people that a lot of the politics and a lot of my sources roll out of the financial news networks because the minute they worry about their money, they're talking. They're not holding back like a politician does. A politician's there to, kiss babies and steal lollipops? Yeah, that's the truth. But the financial people are there to watch their money and guard it. And the financial news networks are really having a heyday with this clip that I've got up here in front of you, where the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, says Trump is pushing to produce more oil and drive down prices. What oil product is he driving down prices on? 3-in-1 oil? Because the United States doesn't have any Brent crude. It doesn't have the base oil coming out of the ground used to make gasoline. We don't have it, and neither does Venezuela. But Donald has decided he's going to go back on what he said to Chevron 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when he put them out of business in Venezuela and yanked their license permits. Yeah, 2-3 weeks ago he said, you're out. Well, yesterday he decided, well, maybe not. Maybe they can go back. He's going to maybe let them go there and get more oil because Chevron needs to produce more oil for the United States. Folks, Venezuela has no Brent crude reserves. There's only 2 places in the world that I know of where you can get Brent crude. And that's out of Saudi Arabia, and it's out of the North Sea. And oh yeah, the United States doesn't own either one of them and has to buy that. And they normally ship it in through Canada. Oh, wait, we're not allowed to bring anything in through Canada anymore. I forgot about that. My mistake, people. But, it's what it is. It's the Donald Trump wild and crazy multi-ring circus being led by the flying monkey himself. Folks, you just can't make this stuff up. Donald is out of control. He wants to go up against multiple different countries. I'm not going to name them all again. He wants to go up against the federal courts. He said that the federal judge should be impeached. In a very rare and a very unusual setting, Chief Justice Roberts stomped him down publicly with a comment publicly that would never have been made in any other time. No, that's not the way we've ever done it, ever before. We're not going to do it for you now. Yeah, Donald, I'm smelling a bit of a lean to the left on the Supreme Court now, because we know about the 3 liberals, but now we know about Chief Justice Roberts willing to stand up to you. And again, I'll say it's probably because Amy Coney Barrett helping him out with his view, and I refer to her lovingly, not rudely, as mom on the court, she gives everybody there, she gives all the kids that are out of control a moment to pause and a conscience to think about. But that's enough for tonight, folks. I don't want to carry this on too long. This seems to be the dog and pony show of the 47th administration, and it doesn't change from day to day. And until he does something really stupid again, we're rehashing things, and I don't want to do that with you. I do want to do a special shout out to all my subscribers, all the people who did press the button for subscribing. Thank you. YouTube officially announced me as a monetized station due to your efforts and your time and energy you spent. To the rest of you people, if you want to join, join. I'm not going to hold it against you because you didn't. Just do me one favor. Hit the like button. It really does go a long ways towards helping me. You're helping me as well. Subscribers get me across the line on some of the qualifications for YouTube. That's what's keeping this channel alive. YouTube's support and your support. I thank you greatly. Everybody else, have a wonderful evening. I'll be back to see you again tomorrow. Good night.